Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast. It is episode
69.
69, baby. And you
That's
are
an
in for a
important
treat
episode.
today. Well, because we all partied like maniacs last night. So that was fun. And we have special guest, Trevor Edgar, on the show today.
Hey! Third
Maybe
appearance on the
boys.
show.
Previous
Thanks for having
episodes.
me.
Resident Leaf fan, of course. And
Unfortunately.
yeah, it's let's be honest, the Leafs look like shit right now. Montreal looks better than the Toronto Maple Leafs.
We're actually above you in the standings as of this morning.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Well,
I am aware.
I haven't even looked. I don't even want to look. Let's see.
It's
right at the bottom. All right, where we belong, anyways.
Yep.
That's for sure.
We are
Christ
the
almighty.
Leafs are on a three game losing streak. There has been lots of talk about a coaching change, but I don't think that's going to happen because I think Dubas realizes that that's probably his last bullet in the chamber, so to speak.
hmm
That once he pulls that trigger, he
That's
doesn't
it.
have anything else to fall back on. That's his guy,
hmm
right?
Yep.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Trevor?
It's hard to say. I mean, if you look at the last few seasons, the Leafs have put up franchise records in the regular season. I mean, they struggled off the hop last year. Them struggling last year isn't an excuse for them to struggle again this year. You know, it was a once off and they pulled it off. You know, they came out of the standings, had a great, next couple of months. They even had a terrible goaltending. We're still managing to win games. So, with the amount of talent on the team and the amount these guys are getting paid, they shouldn't be where they are in the standings. So,
No, absolutely not, right? And
whether that
I
comes
don't
down to coaching or what, if he's lost the room, if it's just players are upset or maybe they're just hurt, maybe they're just in a slump, could be any number of things, and then it's just compounding, obviously, because Toronto media is the worst in the world. So if if their mental game's not there, and it only makes it worse, right?
Yeah.
In Toronto, anyways, if you start failing in Toronto and you don't have a good, strong mental game, strap in.
Well, the thing is I think what's gone under the radar, you make a good point, is that there's a lot of teams that people thought were going to be really good that kind of have stunk coming out of the gate. One of them being the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche.
Colorado.
They've been terrible. Tampa sucks right now.
They've been brutal.
Tampa is awful.
I said Boston wasn't even going to make the playoffs this year, and now I look like, they're what, 8-1 right now?
They've lost one game, yeah. Like,
Yikes.
seriously.
Yeah. So they're looking they look great on the ice. Like, even Montreal, I hate to say it, but they're playing hard, intense hockey, and they're grinding games. And the games that they've lost, they haven't looked bad in those games, a lot of them.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest change we've had under Marty St. Louis was when we lose, it's fuck, we got outplayed, a better team beat us. Whereas with Ducharme, it was just we were dog shit, and it didn't matter. You could play a Pee Wee team, and they would have beat us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how you're feeling about the Leafs start here, Trevor, but it just feels like, yes, we had a slow start last year as well. It feels a lot different right now for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think it's because there's total lack of effort from everybody involved in that. That includes the big boys, and that just can't happen with the money they're getting
floating
paid.
around. That's all I see is they're playing 10 minutes of hockey in 60 minutes. They're just no intensity. It's like they don't want to be there. They're sick of it, whatever. Whether they're sick of losing in Toronto, whether they're sick of each other, whether they're sick of the coach. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on there where only, some of the guys show up. I think Willie's looked pretty good all year. He's been playing hard.
John
Tavares actually been playing great. You got Nick Robertson coming out. The guy flies every single shift.
I mean, you guys are actually getting goaltending this year, which is a change.
Samsonov's been great. It's nothing on him. Our defense been lackluster, that's for sure.
So if I would have told you before the season started that 10 games in we'd be going, yeah, the Leafs have been getting the goaltending, their defense has sucked, and they can't score goals.
So it's exactly. It's the opposite. Last
What?
year we're scoring goals. Defense has been all right, but our tendies
We
been
had one of the
trash.
best defenses. Like the thing is the Leafs were so good defensively, and their goal scoring was so productive last year. Like the top
Well,
guys were so
I
productive.
think our best pairing last year was Gio and Liljegren, and Liljegren's been hurt. He hasn't played a single game this year. So
Yeah,
now
he
they're
just
kind
started
of
playing in for the Marlies again, so he'll be
Oh, yeah.
back. He'll be back
But
soon.
they had the best. If you're looking at the analytics, they had the best line, one of the best defensive lines in hockey last year. Like, they
Yeah.
were great.
Yeah, I think they
then-
had the highest X goals for of any defensive pairing that played the minimum of whatever.
Yeah.
I forget what the
Yeah.
what it
Minimum of
was.
whatever games. Yeah, they were a great line, and like Muzz obviously hurt. Again, that hurts us. I mean, I can't stand watching Muzzin play, but I know he does bring a physical aspect. Even though he's like literally, I can't stand watching him play. He's so slow, and but he does make he's okay. He's not terrible by any stretch.
He's not Justin Holl.
He's not his
Exactly.
defensive
So-
partner. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so having him out and Liljegren out, and we got two fresh guys. We're playing Mete and what's the other guy's name? Crawl.
Philip Kroll. Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently
Crawl,
he
Mete.
looked great last night. Kroll was like
I
our
missed
best
the game
defensive-
last night entirely, so I'm not. I don't know.
Obviously, yeah, we all
Couldn't
we-
speak to
we
that,
both-
but Paul's been just abysmal. Like watching the San Jose game, I saw the first goal and I was like, I'm going to bed. Like,
Hey, that's
just-
Matthews' guy though. That's
No,
Matthews'
100%. I'm not saying. Well, if you go and look in our group chat, the first thing I said was, "What the hell is Matthews doing there?" Like he completely just turned off, let him get burned, didn't follow the guy in, and then Hall just looked like fumbleitis again. Obviously, didn't know what was going on. Well, that didn't help. And then
Well, what I
Shalgren
think
just got
actually
beat.
happened
So
there-
it's like it was just like a 1-2-3. Everybody just it was like all their controllers disconnected.
Yeah, honestly, you want to know what I think happened there? To be completely honest with you, Austin Matthews, yes, he gave up on the play, but I think that's because he's like, I'm in the NHL. I'm expecting my guy to make that play.
Mhm.
I'm expecting Justin Holt to make that play. Like,
Mhm.
this is the National
Yes,
fucking
but-
Hockey League.
But also, you're in the NHL. You better backtrack and fucking cover your guy just in case.
Yeah, no,
100%. He's been actually pretty good at
completely
that all
understand what
year,
you're
and
saying.
was great at that last year. He's playing a great 200-foot game last year. I thought he's been fine this year, and that was just a one-off play. And it turned out that they scored, and it was just a bad, embarrassing goal. Like,
And-
That's
That
the thing. If,
doesn't
if,
go in,
if
nobody's
Shalgren
saying
if Shalgren makes that save, nobody talks
nobody's
about
talking
it.
about it. Yeah, exactly. Everybody just raised their eyebrows for a second. Goes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was rough. But then you forget about it and don't go back to it, right? But
that's not how it works, though, man. Like, when the puck goes in, and the other thing, too, on that play, to that particular play, Shalgren's got to make a better effort at a save. He has to at least try to
Yep.
make a save. He didn't even, he just stood there.
It's
like,
like he thought for sure this puck's not getting to me, and then all of a sudden it was there, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm supposed to be saving this puck, and it's too late."
yeah, exactly. So,
And I mean, who was it? Was Couture? Like the guy's not no slouch. He's great. He's a goal scorer, great player. So like,
yes, he is. Their captain.
Yeah.
Speaking of the San Jose Sharks, how about the resurgence of Erik Karlsson?
I thought he was like dead for 2 years, honestly.
The guy has
he's got,
scored
like, what,
all
6
three.
goals this year, or something like that.
In
4
all
goals?
3 of the games that they have won, he has scored the game winner.
Well, it's because he's starting to grow his hair back. So
It's crazy.
Oh, is he actually growing the hair back?
I don't know. I saw an interview there, and he has a lot longer hair than I'm used to him. He has short hair like me, but no, it was all slicked back like yours. So not quite as long for sure, but it's coming.
Yeah, no, he looks great. He looks great. So, I think I waited a little bit here to address this because I wanted to think about it before I addressed it. On air anyway. Pierre Engvall and Justin Holl need to be put on an actual plane and sent to Korea and never to be seen from ever again. They are right now, they are 2 of the worst National Hockey League players that I've ever seen on the ice in my life.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, you could have even made that argument about Engvall the last couple of years, but it always seemed every time you complain about Engvall, he would go and score the game winner next game.
Yeah,
He'd
it's
make
true.
some crazy play, shorthanded goal, and you're like, he'd do just enough to stay on the team where you're like, okay, maybe he's all right. And then he'd go invisible for 10 games, give up 16 turnovers, and then you'd be like, this guy needs to be shot into space. Please. Just bring anybody up. And then all of a sudden, he'd
Seriously,
get
man.
3 goals in a game, and you're like, oh my god.
And he did it last night too, where he was on the penalty kill. He feathers a pass on a 3-man breakout. Philip Deneau picks it off. Tries to make a 10-foot pass. Why don't you just ice the puck? You're on the penalty kill. Like, ice the fucking puck. He feathers a pass literally directly to Philip Deneau. They turn around, score a goal. That goal is completely on him. What does he do? He goes out the net. He goes out and scores a goal to make up for it. Just enough. Just enough.
That's how he is, man.
It's actually unbelievable.
It's like, I don't understand why you can't just put Hall anywhere else. Like in the whatever, like you said last night, it doesn't even belong in the AHL. Put him in the ECHL, whatever.
Well, on a serious level, honestly, like I understand that there's
no chance on literally anybody else because nobody's gonna do worse.
On an actual serious level, like I understand that there's not a lot of options for the Leafs to replace Justin Holl. I understand that. Big defensemen like that, second pairing defensemen, do not grow on trees. I completely understand.
But like, he's not a second pairing defenseman though. No. You play him there out of necessity.
Let me finish. He literally, he cannot be playing 20 plus minutes a night. That is totally unacceptable. 100. He is like, yes, I joke he should be in the AHL. He should be in the ECHL. Strap him to a rocket and send him to North Korea. I make the joke all the time. If he's playing 8 minutes a game, no penalty kill, sheltered minutes against third and fourth pairing guys, okay, fine, he can play. But and whose fault is that? Seriously, whose fault is that? Who makes the lineup decisions? Is it Dubas? No, it's not. It's Sheldon Keefe.
It's coming back on the coach for sure.
It's Sheldon fucking
Keefe. The other thing, Sheldon Keefe.
But Sheldon Keefe. What other options do you have at the same time?
That's
our defense
what I just said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you cannot play him there anymore. That is an absolute no-fly zone. Like, you can't. He cannot take up that many minutes. He passes the puck more to the opposing team than he does to his own goddamn team. Like, actually, it's outrageous how horrible he is at moving the puck. Like,
he panics a lot.
I've never seen anything like it. And what's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. He sucks. He's never gonna be good. Nothing's gonna change. We're holding on to something where he had a good couple months with Jake Muzzin 2 years ago, and we're holding on to that like it was like he was Bobby Orr. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Why Sheldon Keefe continues to put this guy out there on second pairing minutes? Like, give Sandin an opportunity. Give Giordano an opportunity, for fuck's sakes.
Then you wonder, is that coming from somewhere else, right? Is that coming from higher up?
I don't give a fuck where it's coming from. You're the coach.
No, I'm just saying it's coming from either Keefe or Dubas or somewhere up there, whatever is the Shanny. Could be coming from anywhere, but it doesn't matter. Bottom line is it's coming back to management in some capacity.
Obviously, they see something in his game that they like, obviously. But
what is that? I don't know. What do they see that they like?
Probably the fact that he doesn't get injured, like all of our other defensemen. That's literally it.
He doesn't get injured. He's a big body. He was at one point able to move the puck at a reasonable level.
Yeah, every time the puck is on his penalties, stick, I panic. Not
very effectively, but he kills penalties. Like, that's it. I don't know. And sorry for going off there, but like it's 10 games in here, man, and it's the same thing every time he's on the ice. Like, he needs a reset. At least that. You got to sit him for a few games. Let his head clear up, because he keeps making mistakes and it's snowballing and compiling, and it's not getting any better at all. It's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do something. You can't let that guy. You just can't keep doing the same thing over again. I guess that's what the main point that I'm trying to get across is, and that's what Keefe is doing. He keeps throwing out there and penalty killing.
It's kind of like exactly what everybody was frustrated with Babcock. Just doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing working.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to say because nobody's in that room. I mean, you had what's it called? You had him call the team out and then immediately backtrack it, which just looks terrible.
Yeah. No, it was.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. Was it last week that we talked about that, Abe, or the week before?
I heard. Well, they were referring to it as he was trying to manage the media rather than the players' feelings or whatever. there was literally an article, at least I seen this morning when I woke up, on The Athletic talking about how actually it was inside source, whatever. I didn't read the article, but I just saw a thing. I wanted to send it to you guys, but anyways, long story short, it was about actually about Marner and Marner causing trouble after those comments being called out, saying the elite players aren't living up to their potential or whatever he said.
Yeah, what he said was our elite players. The difference
trash,
between us
and they were trash.
We have elite players and they do not, and our elite players were not elite. Is exactly what he said.
I honestly thought there would be more controversy about him chirping the other team after losing than what he said about our own players. Because I mean, like,
because what he said about Arizona was absolutely true. Nobody can argue that.
Yeah, what he said about Arizona and the Leafs were true. Our elite players were dog shit, and Arizona doesn't have any elite players.
Yeah, like that's
true. But then
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a serious question. Do you think Daryl Sutter would have walked back those fucking comments?
Not a chance.
Not a fucking chance.
No.
Please tell me you saw what he said about Huberdeau last night.
Oh, it was hilarious.
No, I missed it.
They go, Jonathan Huberdeau, he left the bench for a few shifts in the first period. Can you tell us what that might have been? And he goes, yeah, I think he had to take a shit.
Man, here's the thing. It's like I prefer coaching like that, hard ass coaching, yada yada yada. I don't want them getting babied and all that garbage. I mean, that's just like grow up.
Okay, but you're
in the National Hockey League, and you
had that Mike Babcock, and it didn't work.
No way.
Yeah,
well, I think there's a line between being a hard ass coach and being like, I'm gonna sit my player down and be like, rank everybody on the team, and then go to the team and be like, this is what your teammates said about you guys. Like, that's just clown.
Sutter would never do that.
No, he was just going to be like, you suck. You need to
if you want
better.
to be honest, yeah, exactly. He'll go in and tell you, you guys suck tonight. You were absolutely atrocious. You were terrible, and you have to be better. And I'm not walking it back. I'm gonna go tell the media that too.
Yeah. Okay, but do you think Sheldon Keefe doesn't say that in the Leafs room?
No, I don't.
Do you think Sheldon Keefe didn't have that conversation with the Leafs before or after he made that comment?
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he did, yeah. But the issue is going back out to the media, you just look soft. I mean, it's just terrible. It's a terrible look.
See, I think it's
because your players.
I think it's a lot.
You're too hard on me. You shouldn't be saying this, and crying. Like, get out of here, man. Grow up.
I think that was him coming back to that comment was more just to calm the media shitstorm than anything.
Yeah, well,
it made him look like a soft piece of shit.
It doesn't matter, really. At the end of the day, if it's about the media or the players, it doesn't matter. You just don't walk that back. It looks weak no matter what, in my opinion.
Trevor. Actually, Catano, you tell me what you think of this too. This is credit to Tic Tac Tomar, who we use.
Great follow on Twitter.
Great follow on Twitter. We retweet him lots. He always posts great gifs of Leafs goals and stuff. Anyway, so think about this. So Robertson, Matthews, Nylander. Like we got to change. We got to do something. We got to change something.
Yep.
Robertson, Matthews, Nylander, Bunting, Tavares, Marner, Engvall, Kemp, Kerfoot, Zach Aston, Reese, Yarncroke, Simmons. What are your thoughts on
I don't hate that. I didn't like the composition of the top line like we were playing last year with the Marner, Matthews, Bunting. Wasn't connecting. Like, it just didn't seem to have the chemistry like it did last year. So I get, obviously, they were great. You're not going to stray away from that. But, you play 7-8 games like that and nobody's connecting and all your goals are coming from the third, fourth line, whatever, or, second line with Johnny. Like, you obviously got to do something to get your top line going. I think that, Robertson should be up on the top line. I think you should give him a shot there. The way he's been playing, even if, like, I know he only really produced so far in the first game, but he came up in a huge way. And every game he goes out there, he's laying it. He's forechecking, he's back checking, he's going as hard as he can,
He's got such a choppy stride, eh? He looks like
he's running. Hilarious. Yeah, exactly. He looks like he's literally running on the ice. Like,
it's so funny.
He's one of the only guys playing 60 minutes out there. So I think.
Well, I mean, he's playing to play next game. He's earning every shift.
100%.
Exactly.
And I like that. Like, I wish the Leafs had more of that. You have all these other guys that know they're not going anywhere. So whatever. I secured the bag. So who cares?
Think about this. Like, seriously, think about how, like, dude, a line of Robertson, Matthews, and Nylander is like what nightmares are made out of. Like goaltender nightmares are made out of that.
100%.
Put it this way: as a Habs fan, if I see that line come out, I'm like, ah, fuck.
Like that's horrifying, man. Those are 3 of the hardest shots in the league, literally.
Yeah, you're. That's a nightmare to defend. Nightmare.
Bro, all 3 of them can shoot from anywhere, man.
Mhm.
All 3
Yeah,
of
like
them
if any of those 3 guys have the puck in the offensive zone against the Habs, my butt cheeks are fucking clenched because you're like, at any point they can just fucking rifle it home.
That's what I mean. And
Yep.
you might lose a little bit of a setup guy for Matthews, right? But, poor 60 goal scorer, MVP, Hart Trophy, Ted Lindsay winner, Austin Matthews. He doesn't get an all-star winger to play with anymore. Fuck off. Seriously.
No, 100%.
I don't care.
I actually like that. I like that quite a bit.
Well,
that line composition.
Nothing.
What were the lines last night? Do you know?
I think they were pretty status quo. I think Bunting was back with Matthews and Marner.
Well, they dropped him right to the 4th line for San Jose. No.
Yeah, I think they had him on
did
the
he go to the 3rd line? Yeah, I saw originally he was on the 4th, and then they switched it. He was playing on the 3rd. But like that's got to send a message and put a fire under you, know? Like you're playing top line minutes, all of a sudden, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well,
buddy.
and the thing is too with those line combinations, Bunting's still going to be that guy who can go get a puck. John Tavares is absolutely elite and tight. He proved it again last night.
Yep.
And I know Johnny's been going, so you might not want to change something around him. That might be an argument that you would make, is that you don't want to change anything around John Tavares just based on how elite he has been to this point in the season.
Yeah, but I think Tavares.
You're giving him Mitch Marner.
Yeah, I think. Well, look at the first year when he played with Marner. Guy put up like 47 goals. Like, he's not going to do any worse with Marner on his line.
No.
No, if anything, that's going to be the top line. You know what I mean? They're phenomenal.
That's such. I would like to see that change, man. I would love to see that change. Matthews, Nylander, Robertson, and then Bunting, Tavares, Marner. That's deadly.
I got a question. Something that I've noticed, I think I've noticed, and I've seen other people talking about it online and all that, is that it seems to me that the Leafs just like every team just has them figured out. Like they're not doing anything different, and they're playing man on man a lot, and the Leafs struggle when they got guys coming on man. They fumble fuck the puck everywhere. Like they haven't been making any crisp passes, like nothing. They're always shooting, and every shot's going wide of the net. Like they're not taking good shots. Just bad passes all over the place. It seems like the other team is always seems like the other team's always half a step ahead of them. Like they know exactly where they're going to be, and they're not changing anything with the plays. So just to me, it seems like they're getting figured out.
How does Alex Ovechkin not get figured out for 20 years and Austin
standing in one spot where he scored?
See, but the thing with Ovechkin is everyone's got it figured out, but they realize that there's nothing they can do, even though they know it's coming. You can't stop it anyways.
I know this is going to sound absolutely crazy. Want to know who might be the best at defending that?
Who?
Justin Holl.
That's all I actually heard.
When we played Washington this year, he must have blocked. He must have blocked like 6 of those, dude.
Yeah, he was. You know what? It was one of those where I was like, oh, maybe that's why we played Justin Holl. He had one great game where he was shining, blocking Clapper after. Like he was, he played actually a great game.
OV1T, right in the shin, right in the back of the leg, right in the knee, like.
And then just absolute junk ever since.
Yeah.
I was saying, how many times a season do you play the Capitals?
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
Not enough to justify that.
Yeah, like literally put him in the press box until we play the Capitals.
And like look at the game the Leafs played Habs. The Habs must have had 50 block shots that game.
We had 20. We had 27 that night, and David Savard had 9 of them.
It was like they didn't move. They just sat there and were like, we're just gonna all be goalies. That's literally what we're gonna do. And every single player was diving in front of the puck, face first, like they didn't care. I'm like,
because of the passion.
It's this their Stanley Cup game, basically. But you know what I mean?
That's actually what I was gonna say. Is that's another thing, especially given like teams not only have us figured out, because it's a very predictable, especially that like the power play move when they drop it back and
it drives me insane.
Like I actually hate that so much. It wastes so much time.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
then
so
they
much.
immediately they pass it around everywhere, don't take any shots, and then immediately turn it over after wasting a minute in the offensive zone with 0 shots, and then they just dump it down the ice.
Do you
Alright, get
guys
the
still
second
set
unit
up on the power play without a one-timer for Matthews? Or do you have him in the
No,
one-timer
he just
spot?
scored a one-time. He just literally against San Jose power play one-timer.
All right, because I know there was a stretch of, I think it was a couple of years ago.
Well, they
Were
had
you-
him on the opposite side at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
Not the
like
side he was scoring. Like, and when the power play was abysmal.
yeah, I never understood why you fucking did that for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't understand a lot about it, man.
Well, and the other thing that when the Habs have been good, I'm sure that you can relate to this as well. Like, obviously, this isn't like right now the situation with the Habs, but when a team is like one of the better teams in the league, other teams show up for them, especially if they're the Montreal Canadiens or the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Boston Bruins. Like,
Yeah,
every team shows up. Every team's
Mhm.
Stanley Cup, you've said it before, Trevor, is playing the Toronto Maple Leafs every time. You know, I can't tell you how many losses a season we probably get just because of that.
Just because they
Because
come in and
people
play as
literally-
hard as possible.
Every time they're
Yeah.
playing us, like the Jets said last year, there's nothing better than beating the Leafs, right?
Mark Scheifele.
Mark
Yep.
Scheifele literally
Piece of
enjoys beating
shit.
the Leafs more than the birth of his firstborn child, but who's counting? Like, what a weirdo, man. I hate the Jets. Like,
like,
I know
hey,
he's
that's
better
one of the
feeling
things
between
the three of us can agree on is fuck the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like fuck the Jets, fuck the Bruins. Like,
I honestly dunked on them last week, but I'm doing it again. Fuck the Jets.
Yeah, they're.
Fuck.
I can't stand them. Dirt ball team. Absolute dirt ball team.
Neil Pionk's a dirtbag. Josh Morrissey's a dirtbag. Morgan
Mark
Riley.
Scheifele's a
piss on
dirtbag.
him. Mark Scheifele's a dirtbag. Blake Wheeler's a dirtbag. Pierre-Luc Dubois is a dirtbag.
Blake Wheeler's a dirtbag, and he's not even the captain of the Dirtbags anymore.
No,
Not
he
anymore.
literally was such a dirtbag that they stripped him of his captaincy.
Yeah, he's been kind of junk. That's for sure. And fine by me, because I don't like the guy.
Speaking of kind of junk, what the fuck's up with Shane Wright?
I haven't really heard anything about him, and I know at the beginning of the season they were sitting him, so he was
He
a
hasn't
healthy
played in
scratch.
5 games.
Are they just? Is it like just the old mentality, Ron Francis? Like, oh, you're new on the team. Like, we're not just gonna superstar. You know what I mean? Kind of like trying to like put him in his place or whatever you want to call it. Like, check his ego kind of thing. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
He's good enough, man.
I haven't watched any of his games. I haven't really heard anything about him. So,
No, literally the most notable thing he's done in his NHL career was get drafted 4th overall.
how many
That's it.
how many games has he played this year? Has he had a lot of minutes? Like, where's he playing? 4th line, 1st line?
So we're about 9 games through, and Abe's saying he hasn't played in 5. So
I'm pretty sure he
That's
didn't
not
play
good.
in the opener or anything. So he's probably only
They're
played a
actually
handful
10
of
games
games.
in. They're 10 games in. They're 4-4-2, actually.
Must be
so
nice.
Shane Wright has 5 games, 1 assist, and is +2.
So, the Seattle Kraken depth chart. Huh. Looks like he's a 3rd-line plus guy. They have Matty Beniers starting at center with Eberle and Schwartz.
That's a decent little
Hasn't
line.
Schwartz been playing really good this year?
Yeah. And then they have, so he's like a 3rd-line plus guy, it's saying according to CBS NHL here.
So just a bust or what? A little early to tell.
Yeah, he
But I
hasn't
mean,
been,
he hasn't really been performing.
he hasn't
Not
really
4
done
goals in
anything,
his first game
is what it
for
is.
me, anyways.
It's not that he's been bad, but he hasn't been good, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Just run of the mill.
Honestly, what
I don't care. Let's sign him. Put him on a defense. Make him a defenseman. Get Hall out of there. I don't care.
there you go. That's an idea.
Well, they had
That's an
Mitch
idea.
Marner playing defense in
No. So
preseason.
you put Shane Wright on the 2nd line, and then play Mitch Marner on defense. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. Perfect.
There it is. I like it. I like it. Yeah. So, anything? I know we've kind of been going off about the Leafs here. Did you want to talk about anything Montreal related?
Honestly, we've just been kind of like rolling along,
Trucking
doing our
along,
thing.
I know.
Like,
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
but like the thing is, like, sometimes maybe good,
Mostly
sometimes
good.
maybe shit. But like when we're shit, we're not even that shit anymore. It's like it's just like, yeah, we're not as good. But Caulfield right now is tied for second in the league in goals with 7. Slavkovsky got another one last night. Yeah, things are just kind of good. The young guys are all doing really well.
It's good stuff.
We're almost like back to full health. Armia just came back last night. Joel Edmondson, he's on the road trip. He should be playing one of the next 3 games. And yeah, we're just kind of rolling along. We're having fun. That's all. That's what this year is about. It's about having fun.
Yeah, having fun.
What do you think about? Well, not to just bring it back to the Leafs or anything, but to bring it back to the Leafs.
I realize that it's 2v1 here, and this is a
Yeah.
Leafs episode. I'm okay with it.
No, I was gonna say, what do you think about? I know we've been talking about coaching. I don't know if there's gonna be coaching change or da 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 da. Like you said, last bullet in the chamber. What do you think about? Do you think they'll be signing all these big contracts again, or do you think they're gonna have to do or want to, maybe spread them out around the league here, go a different route rather than signing all the big superstars again? Like we got Tavares, he's halfway through his contract. Matthews gonna be coming up. Marner again is gonna be coming up. Obviously, I want Matthews, hands
Matthews
down.
is. I don't think Matthews
Like
or
paid,
Marner.
give that guy a blank check. I don't care.
16.4 is what you
But-
want him at, right?
That's my estimate.
Yeah, but
Is
do you?
16.4.
Yeah, but do you want to sign Marner again?
Yeah.
What is Marner's up next year?
2 years, I think.
No.
I think 2 years, isn't it?
And I not that you don't have a choice, but yeah, you're going to sign Mitch Marner. You're going to sign Austin Matthews. You're probably going to get John Tavares, a serviceable guy, for about half of what he's getting paid right now, I would estimate.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Marner contract. But I don't know. I think it's difficult to say until we see some playoff success here. Like if we see some playoff success, then yes, everybody's coming.
Yeah, got to make the playoffs first.
Right, dude.
All right,
Right
so
now, I don't know, man.
So obviously this is like a 2-year out thing, but I'm looking at 2024 free agents. Sebastian Aho is on there.
Mhm.
Elias Pettersson's on there. Like,
Here's the thing.
Do you
I don't
think-
know if I believe in the full-on superstar, like signing all these big names, big contracts. I don't know. It hasn't seemed to really work.
I mean, has it not worked out in Colorado pretty well?
Yeah.
And
I
Tampa?
was just gonna say that.
Depending on what you
Well, okay, so let's Tampa.
like. Look, I have
like,
to look at the
legitimate-
contracts. I don't think any of them really make bananas money. It's, like McKinnon obviously just signed this year. He was making like $5 million last year, and they won the cup.
Hey, if you pull up Tampa, I'll pull up Colorado.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because there is, and it's part of the Toronto narrative. There is a narrative that we spend way too much money on our players. But if you
I don't
look
think
at
it's as bad as people say. Like if you look at percentage wise and all
near
that, it's not as bad. But I just mean, is it worth spending on a guy like Mitch Marner? Don't get me wrong, I love Marner. There seems to be a constant drama that follows him. Or is it worth getting 2 guys like a top D and just a player like, that just plays hard, something like that, that can make
why
like a
it's
second
not?
line guy, third line guy that just, you know what I mean? That can,
I'm going to tell you why it's not right now. Because Mitch Marner is an elite hockey player, and he's always going to be an elite hockey player.
100%.
Want to know what you get for it? Want to know? You're talking about getting a couple of serviceable D for his price. Want to know what you get? You get Jake Muzzins. That's what you fucking get. Seriously, this entire league is voodoo, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No, I
voodoo.
understand that.
When you see something that's elite and you know it's elite, you keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So let's just talk about Tampa Bay right now.
Okay, I got Colorado up when we're done too.
Cooch, 5 more years, 9.5. Point, 8 more years at 9.5. Stamkos, 2 more years at 8.5.
That's not bad.
Alex Killorn, $4.5 million. Victor Hedman, 7.875, almost $8 million. Andre
That's
Vasilevsky,
unbelievable.
9.5.
Hedman's ridiculous.
That's a great contract for Hedman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I like Mitch Marner's contract better than Braden Point's.
But I mean, coming up and yeah, I agree. But coming up in 2 years where they got to renegotiate. What's he going to want? And then it's all. You're right. We got all these elite players, and I love watching. I love Marner as a player. He's fantastic. I wouldn't want to get rid of him, but I'm just asking the question of maybe only playing devil's advocate a bit. Like, is it could there be money better spent elsewhere? Or can we figure out how to draft better and bring these guys up?
I totally see what you're saying. I don't think our drafting's an issue, right? Like,
I don't think it's
we've
bad.
actually
we got Matthew Nyes coming up, and Nyes looks like he's going to be an immediate piece to our roster.
So think about just drafting in the last 3-4 years, like since the Matthews Marner era's begun. Let's go Robertson, Sandin, Liljegren, who else? Alex Steves, he looks like a good player. Matty Nyes looks like a good player. Joey Anderson, Philip Kral looked pretty good last night. That's a late round pick that we grabbed.
Yeah, no, I don't think our drafting's been bad by any stretch.
There's some teams that
is it maybe just on the development and integration process that isn't working, or is it just, or is it that the issue that you're at a point where you can't be putting the young players in because you're in a win now mode?
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah,
this isn't a team where young players really have an opportunity to grow because we have elite hockey players that want to win Stanley Cups, right? Like that's what it is. So you don't have the leeway to say, yeah, you know what? Throw Sandin on the top line. Let's see how he does. Whereas you might in Montreal. Whereas
that's literally this season. That's literally the next, honestly, probably 2 or 3.
That's what I mean, right? And
that's
just not a luxury that the Leafs have right now.
No. Well, because the Leafs had that luxury, what would have been like 5 years ago then? 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, like when we lost, like let me put it to you this way: the least disappointing playoff series that the Leafs have played in my lifetime, to be completely honest with you, is the one against Washington because there were no expectations. We were the underdogs and we took them to 7 games. Right? Yeah. Since then, it's been epic failure. But
I don't hate the loss last year, but what? Losing to Tampa Bay, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, that then went on to go play the Stanley Cup final.
Going for a 3rd time in a row.
Should we have won it? Potentially. But it's not like they were a team that we should have bowled over. Montreal was by far the worst I've ever seen. Montreal was not even close. If Justin Holt
doesn't get called for the first pick that's ever been called in playoff hockey history, then we win that game. But yeah, who's counting?
Like, don't get me wrong, obviously I wanted to win, but I mean, that wasn't the worst team to lose against. You're playing against the best team in the league, other than like Colorado at the time. So if it was going to be a loss, that's not that disappointing, is what my opinion.
If you're going to win the cup, you got to beat a good team, dude. Like, you're not going to play shitty teams 100%. In the Stanley Cup playoffs.
100%.
You still got to win. We were the favorite, dude. It's that's a fact. We were the favorite going into that series. Right? We should have won.
I think Tampa had a more complete and better team than we do.
Yeah.
Starting from the net out. We had Jack Campbell versus Andre Vasilevsky. Taking Andre Vasilevsky 1,000 out of 1,000 times.
We got to talk about that guy in a few minutes here because he is awful, man. Like, he has been one of the worst goalies in the league this year.
Okay, here's the thing. We'll do it. We'll do it right now. Okay. And it's the same thing we talked about last week with Colorado. The regular season, as long as you make the playoffs, the regular season doesn't mean shit. And I know for a fact that when the playoffs start and Andre Vasilevsky's in net for Tampa, it's lights out.
No, I'm talking about Jack Campbell, buddy.
Well, fuck. Then yeah, Jack Campbell's dog shit. I gotta get him on one of my fantasy teams. He's fucking so bad.
I don't care about Vasilevsky right now because, like you said, when the playoffs come, we know he's a brick wall. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But I'm talking like Jack Campbell doesn't have that luxury.
No.
And they sat him in favor of a man named Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, but the issue is the Oilers are still 3rd in the league right now.
Stuart Skinner has a dirtier mustache than you do, Gaetano.
Yeah, 3rd, but that's what happens when your offense actually performs. The Leafs could be doing the exact same thing, but all of our so-called offensive power has been absolutely dormant. They've been terrible. They're scoring 2 goals a game.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
most. You know what I
5
mean? Like, what the hell's going on? None of them can hit anything. They look like they're panicking in the offensive zone, looking for too many of the perfect passes, or every single shot they take's getting blocked. Almost all their goals are coming from junk goals, from when they finally shoot the puck at the net and they go, oh yeah, rebounds happen. And then, Johnny T bangs it in because he's just so good in front of the net.
He is elite.
Like, they're looking to just try and snipe over and over again. It's not happening. Any of the opportunities they're getting, they're shooting it wide. It's just, I guess, early season rust, but I mean, it shouldn't be like the 10 games in right now. And that's what preseason's for. Like, you should be, getting dialed in here. Oh, it seems like all the other teams are.
Well, it doesn't help, right?
Except for Vancouver.
Yeah, but that's just they're a meme at this point.
It doesn't help starting the season without your, last year literal statistical best defenseman in Timmy Liljegren. So that doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. It also doesn't help when this guy that you paid a shit ton of money to from Ottawa comes in and pulls his groin in fucking practice because he's a Band-Aid. And Matt Murray is now just, who's even talking about Matt Murray anymore? Nobody cares about the guy anymore. I don't. I don't know about you guys.
Never did.
And then right after that, what happens? Jake Muzzin goes out. There's a second pairing guy that you had. Like you said, sometimes it's literally painful to watch him play. But
he's still not. I mean, he's not bad. He's definitely still a decent defenseman.
He's a 3 or a 4 defenseman.
He's not what he used to be. Obviously, he's not the Stanley Cup Jake Muzzin, obviously, but
no, definitely not. So we kind of started talking about it, and then we kind of veered off topic. Yeah, Jack Campbell sucks, man. Like,
I've watched 2 games with him, and both games they scored 3 goals in 30 seconds.
Like, he is really bad.
Like, his save percentage can't be more than 0.65.
Give me 1 second. Give me
It's
1 second.
8.65. I'm not kidding. His
That's
save
rough.
percentage on the year is 8.88. He's got a 3.89 GAA.
Granted, some of the games I watched, it literally looked like Edmonton's like the Calgary game. It looked like Edmonton's defensemen were moving in slow motion, like they were skating in peanut butter. And Calgary,
Bro,
was
they
just
literally
whoop, Raider.
they
So,
literally
I felt
they have
bad for
Darnell
Campbell.
Nurse. They have Darnell Nurse and fucking 5 7th defensemen.
They have
That's
literally
their
the worst-
lineup.
That's the whole. If McDavid and Draisaitl don't get 3 points each a game, they just lose.
Yeah.
Like, one of them guys get injured this year. I mean, obviously, I don't want that to happen, but I mean, if any of them go down, they're literally dropping every game after that. They're not winning.
100%.
Yeah,
They're
Like,
literally
just
one
gonna
of
go
the
0-30.
they're literally one of the worst constructed fucking sports teams in history.
They remind me of, I was going to say they remind me of the Leafs as of a couple of years ago, but that's literally their team. It's the Leafs from a couple of years ago, plus Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, they're all firepower. If they, you know what I mean? They win games because they can score 6 goals and let in 5.
Yeah.
So
But the issue is when they play a team that's
Just
not
not
going to let them
sustainable.
score 6 goals.
that's exactly it. You play Vasilevsky in playoff mode, you just lose. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, glad we didn't sign him to a $5.5 million 6-year contract, dude.
See, but I think with that, Edmonton's defense is so bad that he's getting exposed far more than he ever got exposed in Toronto.
Yeah, similar to
100%.
Matt Murray when he went to Ottawa.
Ottawa, yeah, it's the same thing. I think if Jack Campbell had stayed in
Yeah, you
Toronto,
go from
his
a
numbers
Stanley
would.
Cup caliber defense to just absolute dog water.
Yeah.
He's like,
Literally.
instead of facing 25 shots a night with a lot of low quality chances, I'm facing 45 with 30 of them being high quality chances.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think if Jack Campbell had re-signed in Toronto, he'd be doing fine,
Mhm.
100%.
Well, he didn't, and thank God, because we got Sammy now.
Yeah.
Sammy and Matt Murray, who has a pulled groin and is on the LTIR. That's another question, Trev. Now we're looking at, why don't we just put that guy on Robida Island? Go away, Matt Murray.
Robida Island, throw Justin Hall out there too. He's could be injured. Muzzin, he's He's just what, IR right now?
He's on IR, so
Hmm.
that's like $10 million in cap space between Muzzin and Murray's contracts.
So go out and sign Hedman.
Yeah,
And have
let's
$3
sign
million
him.
left over.
Another player.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, like getting an elite caliber defenseman is just they're so hard to come by. And when
They
a
don't
team
go
gets
anywhere.
them, they don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's one available right now, but he's injured.
Who's that? Ekblad?
Chekrin.
Yeah, he's always injured though. Guy's got a bad history of injuries.
Wasn't Klingberg was available over the summer?
Who do you
John
get? Scoop
Klingberg,
by?
yeah, but he signed in Dallas.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
he go back to Dallas? Yeah.
No,
I thought he got
Did
scooped by
he
somebody
not go to
else, like
Anaheim?
Carolina or something.
Did he? Did Klingberg go to?
Let's look.
I swear to God, he went to Anaheim.
You're probably right. I'm probably misremembering what happened.
Ice hockey defenseman. That doesn't tell me anything. Anaheim, yeah. He plays on Anaheim.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected. So actually going back to Tic Tac Tomar's lines that he has put in a blender here. So what about these D pairings, Trev? Thoughts? Riley Brody,
Yep.
because Riley Brody's
Mhm.
actually a decent pairing. Giordano and Kroll.
I haven't seen Crawl play, but I mean, can't
Me
be
neither.
any worse than Hall. So
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then third pairing, Sandine Mete.
I noticed there was no Justin Hall on there, so I'm happy.
Yes,
Very
there's
happy.
absolutely no shot that man is making that list.
Yeah, you go Riley Brody, Gio Lilligren when he gets back, and Sandine and Crawl or Mete, whoever.
I don't know. I don't know about you, man. I've been really liking the way that Mete's been playing.
Yeah, he's been fine. I mean,
I like
he's been
Mete.
fine.
He's not
I'm
getting a lot
a
of
big Brody
ice.
fan, personally. So
What?
I'm a big TJ Brody fan.
He's
I love that guy.
yeah, he's the only thing that's keeping us like even in the
He's
fight.
like, if you don't hear about him, which you never do, in Toronto, he's doing something very well. He's the absolute master of breaking up 2-on-1s.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, he's so,
It's so-
fucking annoying.
Oh my god, yo, it's
like the
amazing.
TJ Brody school of defending
Yeah,
2-on-1s is elite.
Like there's so many times, like even that like the playoff series and like the games like last season where it's like Caulfield Suzuki on a 2-on-1. I'm like, yes, and then he
and
just
I'm like,
fucking,
please be Brody, and I'm like, oh, it is Brody, so it's not. There's no goal. We're good.
no, exactly. I see it's him and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna fucking block it every time, and he blocks it every fucking time.
He like
Yeah.
throws his entire body into the puck, like while it's on the player's stick.
Yeah,
It's kind of
he's
crazy.
so good at it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then like if they try to go around him, he's got that like
that stick,
he
and it's
swings
just
his stick around and always hits the guy. Hits
Yeah.
the guy's stick, knocks the puck
Every
off.
time.
It's wild.
Bro, I straight up stole that from him. I do that at the ODR all the time.
there's gotta be
The sprawl and then the stick swing around. every
gotta be
time.
a compilation of that on YouTube of just Brody breaking up 2-on-1s.
Yeah,
And
If not, I expect
please
you to make
somebody
it, Trev.
Yeah.
like it's an elite elite talent that man has. But yeah, so no Justin Holl, obviously, big part of it. Even if it like he can be a 7th. That's what he can
Mhm.
do.
Yep. They should
You
make Justin
can't
Hall
keep putting
forward.
him on the ice 20 minutes a night. Just can't do it, man. What'd you say,
Oh,
Chris?
So they should make Justin Hall a forward.
Why would they do that? Oh my
Because they want to lose.
Discard for
Probably better than
Bedard.
Engvall.
Can't be any worse than Engvall.
That's probably better than Engvall.
They turn over the puck about the same amount.
What if
But at
you
least
flip
he's not
flop
going
Engvall
back
and
on
Hall in the
defense.
lineup? Play Engvall on defense because he can't be any worse than Justin Hall, and play Justin Hall as a forward because he can't be any worse than Engvall.
I mean, why not?
At least that
Why
would be
not at
trying
this point?
something else, Catano. That would, right? Like then you would at least be.
I mean, at least
attempting
Engvall's got a
to make a change.
16-foot stick that he can just swing at people on defense.
I said this to Catano last week. Like, I don't know how frustrating it is for you, man, but to watch a 6'5", 240-pound giraffe that skates like the wind go out
Yeah.
there and be that useless.
Yeah, I know.
Hurts.
He's got if you just looked at that guy on paper and then saw him skating, you'd be like, this guy's got to be an elite player. Like, he's got to be at least a top line guy. And then you actually watch him play, and you're just like,
Because no, the thing with him, he has all the physical attributes, and there's just nothing up here.
Like, we're talking
it's like there's
about
a
a
palm
guy.
game going on in his head. That's it.
We're actually talking.
Just dum, 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 as he's skating around, like he gets the puck and doesn't know what's going on.
He gets the puck, and there's the circle starts spinning in his head, it's buffering, loading, figuring out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, no, like his controller dies on every shift. Like, actually. And like, we're talking about a guy that's built like a straight up NBA player, man. Like,
He's
this
massive.
guy is 6'5".
He's
Bro,
massive.
if I
and he
was
can skate
that,
like the
if I
wind,
had
and
his
he
build
just-
in the NHL, I'd be fucking elite. Like, I don't know
no
what to tell you.
IQ, no hockey IQ, and zero hands.
And one other thing that I've seen, like, I've seen.
You don't need hands though. If you're that big, you don't need hands. If you're going to be a big power guy.
I
Yeah.
just mean, but for the guy with no hands, he seems to have the puck way too much. Like he's
Yeah.
carrying it up, and I'm like, why? Why does he have the puck?
But the
was
thing is,
watching Overdrive
he
the other
can't
day.
make a fucking 10-foot pass, so that's the issue.
I was watching
you're
Overdrive
forced-
the other day, Trev, and
Sorry.
it's like this guy coming in to the like just think about this guy, 6'5", 230, 240, whatever the hell he is. And like you said, he's one of the fastest guys that's playing on a third line in the
sir.
NHL, dude. This guy, why is he not dropping his shoulder and taking the puck to the net? Just take the puck to the net. You can. You're massive. Like, you're an absolute unit, dude. Like, I don't get it. And if you don't want to do that, why aren't you putting the puck in the corner and then putting the defenseman in the fourth fucking row and taking the puck? Like, I don't.
He's a player like you said with that size, but plays like he's like 5'10".
I don't get it. Like, I don't get why
It's
you
like
don't
he doesn't realize the size he is.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, and like. He's just the
Pierre
he doesn't
Engvall,
do
6'5", 215 pounds.
And one other thing
As a
is,
unit.
he's a literal animal in the gym too. Like, they do those stupid little things where they
Yeah,
ask. Like,
I know.
questions.
He's an actual unit.
Like, they ask like questions where they're like, "Oh, who's the biggest guy on the team? Like, who works out the hardest?" Literally everybody on the team's like, Pierre Engvall is an absolute monster in the gym. What?
Yeah.
Like, excuse me? There's
Doesn't
no
translate.
way.
Does not translate.
I don't get it.
You know what he
The
needs?
two guys that the team talks about, literally, they're like Justin Holl. Everyone loves that guy, and Pierre Engvall. And they're the two most hated players by the fans.
You want to? That's exactly what it is,
Just-
though, Trav. They take
Just
all
great
the heat,
guys, just great guys, but they're absolute dog water on the ice.
but they take all the heat because we've spent 53 minutes on the dot of you guys just roasting them and not roasting anyone else.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Have you ever seen that meme? That meme where it's Gordon Ramsay and it's just like when Nylander makes a bad play, just, "Oh dear gorgeous, come
Yeah.
here, it's okay." And
Yeah, you fucking donkey!
then when Engvall makes a bad
Yeah.
play.
See, but for a while, Leafs Nation wasn't like that, though. It was the other way around, where anyone else made mistakes, and it was, it's okay. And then Nylander did something bad, and everyone fucking shit on him.
Yeah, he's earned it, okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely he has.
I was gonna say,
Absolutely he has.
Of course, I haven't spent the length or the aggression on ripping on the other players, but I mean, if we're gonna be honest, Matthews hasn't been playing well either. I mean, he's been playing well, somewhat defensively for the most part. He's throwing the body. At least he was. He was leading the team in hits, and he's been throwing hits. He's been, playing on. Well, he's not scoring goals. He's doing everything else possible to play well. But at the end of the day, you're paid that much money because you score 60 goals a season. For you to be having 2 goals, fanning on open nets, and throwing the puck wide at every opportunity, like there's something wrong there. It's got to change. I say for
Bottom
my
line, through 9 games, the team's 4-4-1, and he has 2 goals, and that's not gonna work.
No,
That's
he should
not-
be leading the team. He should
Yeah.
be he's not performing up to caliber whatsoever. Neither's
No.
Marner. Like I said, the only players you could really say that are doing well are Nylander and Tavares.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
top line guys, the ones that are paid the most, just not perform. They're playing like, $4 million players.
Yeah, no, they're not. So here, let's look at the team leaders at the moment. So Tavares through 9 games has 10 points, 4 goals, 6
Granted, I
assists.
think Matthews does have quite a few assists.
He's got 7 points through 9 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. But that's the number that's concerning. 2 goals is simply not enough out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not. So let's take a look.
It would be all right if he had more assists. If you're like, oh, like he's shooting and someone's putting in the rebound or tipping, like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Honestly,
like Trav said, he's not even hitting the net. Like
our team has been so low scoring in general that even 7 assists. I mean, I'd have to look at exactly how many we've had, but I mean, I'm sure our goals for and goals against are not great. Like they're probably pretty close to even. And last year, every year we've been like, oh, plus 9,000 because we score a lot of goals. This year, like just not happening in all aspects. Like nobody's scoring. It's not just Matthews isn't scoring.
your goal differential is -2, by the way.
There you go. It's even worse.
Yeah, we're the only team in the Atlantic Division with a negative goal differential.
So we're the new Habs. That's all right.
Okay. The other thing that we have to remember here, Austin Matthews' 7-year career.
Guys literally never not scored on like a 50-goal pace. So I mean, it's gonna happen. But
Trev, this is the stat for me when this guy gets into a slump that I look at and it makes me feel better and warm on the inside. Career shooting.
You look very concerned as you said that, though. Just pointing that out.
Career shooting percentage, 16.1%.
Yeah, isn't he shooting at like a 7% or something like that?
Last year, Trevor, he shot at a 17.2%, 18.5% the year before.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4.5 right now.
Yo.
On the season.
Yikes. Now, do missed
He's
shots
gonna
count to your shooting percentage?
Yeah,
Not
does that
exactly
count?
sure
Does
how-
that count
I'm
if you
not
hit
sure
the
how
net
it's
or if you don't hit the
No,
net?
it's shots. Shots on goal.
Just attempted shots.
Yeah,
shots on
but
goal.
if you miss the net, it's not a shot on goal.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
So
so
that's literally-
put all the shots he's missed. He's probably shooting at the right percentage.
He's got 2 goals in how many shots has he put on goal? So 79 total shot attempts right now. He's got 44 shots on goal, 79 shot attempts.
So he's got 35 missed shots.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I did that math wrong. So
No, I think you did.
35 missed shots, 44 shots on goal.
Yes, he's missed the net.
A lot.
Yeah, he's missed the net
50% of the
35
time, just
times,
about.
and he's hit the net 44 times.
Yeah.
And of the 44 times he's hit the net, he's only scored on 4.5% of those
Mm-hmm.
of those
That's what
shots.
I mean.
That's not going to continue.
It's not. It's not going to. But I noticed a lot. Like teams have been paying respect by they're just not letting him get quality shots. Like, but that being said, they're double teaming him. They're just doing everything they possibly can to get in the lane. That you should be scoring. Your other guys should be scoring on the line. Because if you're doing that, that means you're leaving other guys open. And it's not like the other guys on his line can't score. They're Bunting and Marner, they can both score, but they're not. So it's hard to
Fair
say.
enough.
And even then, like I said, you got 2 guys on Matthews, and it still looks like the other guys are covered. So it just seems to me like the Leafs are just figured out and they're not adapting quick enough to what the other teams are doing for defensively to them.
Yeah, no, I hear
Which
you.
then
man.
goes back to coaching. So get your pitchforks out.
Oh, good Lord, man. I don't even know what to say anymore about.
I don't know. I'm sad, and I hope in 10 games that we're win all 10, and then nobody will complain anymore.
Until
Okay,
you
so
lose
just-
one.
Everybody be like, "Oh, it's fine and dandy." Remember when we were sad?
Let's just.
It's
just
literally the cycle of the Leafs
Yeah,
every
it is.
year.
100%.
Just to put this into perspective, the league average shooting percentage is 10.
Yeah.
I
So
think we
he's
can agree
less.
that Austin Matthews is above average shooter.
Slightly.
Is it? I don't think it's gonna. No, it's unsustainable. His low shooting percentage. It's gonna go back up to the average. It's
For
just
some reason, that stat always just makes me feel so much better whenever he's in a slump. I go look at it and I'm like, oh,
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
so
So no,
it'll
I'm sure it'll. But I mean, here's the thing: we're 10 games in. Like, please hurry, because the games all matter, and especially if you're losing to these teams where this should be free wins. Like,
Just at the Arizona Coyotes next time, Trev.
Well, like I said, I believe it was it Vegas that we lost to on Saturday night? Did we get to talk about the Vegas game last week, or was Vegas early this week? I think it might have been Monday, actually, so maybe we didn't. The biggest issue with them losing to Vegas isn't actually losing to Vegas for me, because Vegas is a good hockey team.
Yep.
All right? The issue is I goddamn well knew that they weren't going to be able to beat San Jose. I just knew it. Because they play down to these bottom-feeding teams. Like, this is a team that is lottery-bound, right? Like, the San Jose Sharks are lottery-bound.
every
It is
single
what it
team
is.
we've lost to this year, or at least I don't know if LA made the playoffs last year. Did they?
Yeah.
I think they did. Okay, well, before that, every team we've lost to this year, before LA last night, was a team that didn't even make the playoffs last year, including Vegas. They didn't make it last year.
Exactly.
And then we go and beat the playoff teams.
Well, it's been a real episode. Do we have any fill-in-the-blanks or anything like that?
Yeah, I got quick fire for Trev here.
Quick fire.
God.
Okay, I'm
Quick
down.
fire.
All right.
Cup final and winner.
Cup final, like who's going to play each other?
And a winner.
That's a good question. I think Cup final we might see Colorado again and the Flames. Can they do that?
No, they
That
can't.
work out? Can't do that. Well, I was going to pick the Flames to win. So Flames to win and final. I don't know, somebody else. Boston. The way that they're playing right now.
You're not going to pick the Leafs?
No. Guy,
Smart man. Hart Trophy,
There's no
MVP of
money
the
on
league.
the line here.
MVP?
Yeah.
Hard to say. It's like, I want to say Matthews, but I mean, he just like, as of right now, it's just rough. So I feel like Connor McDavid's just an easy guess. So we'll just go with McDavid.
That's why when you said it was hard to say, I was like, that's total bullshit. No, it isn't.
Who's going to win the Rocket? Most goals.
That's a good question. Connor McDavid, maybe. This might be the year.
I mean, he's leading the league as it stands, so not a bad shout. And then I need your spiciest, like insides melting hot take.
Oh,
Like shit liquid fire hot take.
Ottawa's going to make the playoffs this year and make it pretty far.
You think they're going to go
to the conference final?
You know they're the only team that's worse than the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I think they're playing a hell of a lot better than the Leafs are, and they're actually outplaying a lot of their opponents.
Yeah.
They put it together. I think they'll put a string in, and they might go wild card. They might even squeak in a third.
Pressure, but not as much as the Leafs, man.
They're only, 1 point behind us? It's not like they're way behind us. They get one win. I think everybody ahead of us is only ahead of us by 1 point. They get 1 win, 2 points. All of a sudden, they rocket to like third place. So it's not like they're far behind in the standings.
Well, I mean, there's also 70-odd games to go, so.
That's what I mean. Anything can change. That's my hot take, though.
All right. I like that. That is a fucking hot take. All like 6 Senators fans are going to be really excited to hear that, Trev.
Got you.
All right, Trev, do you want to have anything to plug? Mainstay Designs, plug it right now.
No, I got no plugs. Golden Dragon,
plugs this week.
Golden Dragon Chinese food. That's where I'm going. So plug there.
There's the plug there. Golden D. That's hilarious.
Gonna go feel good for about half an hour when I eat it, and then feel terrible for the rest of the night.
Yep.
All right, let's do an update of our.
The fantasy league, yeah.
Yeah, our fantasy league quickly. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Rough week for you?
Oh God. It's actually not even that bad of a week, but like the team I'm playing against, Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, Mick's slapping the shit out of you, isn't she?
Mick is great, man.
She's crushing. Crushing.
crushing everybody.
Okay, I
not
said
even
this
close.
last night. I gotta put
I'm
this like, on the record
113
here.
points behind her as of today.
Like,
She could bench her team and not play anybody today, and it doesn't matter. I'm done.
Okay,
I'm
so
done.
as we were drafting our teams, we were in a video chat, the three of us. Michaela was in the background with Ave, and every time she made a pick, we were all like, "Oh, that's a good like underrated pick. That's you're picking like a good little team." And then like all of a sudden, she is the only undefeated person in the league, and she's slapping the shit out of everyone.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
The
like
thing is, I don't even think I have a bad team. They're just nobody's like performing. Like I got Matthews on my team, guys not scoring. Stamkos, he's good, but like none of the guys that should be scoring on my team are scoring.
yeah,
All my goalies
I-
are losing. Bobrovsky's been abysmal. Like Saros has 1 win. He's like 1-7, and it was his first game in week 1 that he won. First game of the season.
like let's just the top 3 teams are Michaela, Gaetano, and my dad.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this is going to be sustained throughout the league, though. Don't get me wrong.
So listen to
I think
this.
they're off to a hot start.
Everybody except for okay, no, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong number. So one this is how the points go. Michaela has 713 total points on the year.
Yeah.
Then it jumps down to the next closest is Gaetano at 676. And then everybody's within like 10 or 20, like it's like 10, 20, and then she's just like 40 points ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Go figure that out.
Like what?
I think they're just off to a hot start, and it's not going to continue. Personally,
Yeah.
I think my team's rolling. My team's gonna be fine. I'm happy with my team. I'm staying up in that top 3 all year, 100%.
As soon as my players just start playing average, like not even just good, just average, I think I'm going to start rolling people. But like too many of them are in slumps. Not to mention my top defenseman is once again out for the rest of the year.
Want to know what's actually
Now
like,
Brad Marchand's in though, so that's good.
Want to know what's like winning her these games? I'm looking right now.
For goalies, man.
Evander Kane has been.
He's got like 900 points. He's like more points than my whole team this week. Evander Kane.
Outrageous.
Yeah, he's got to be like first in the league, or he's up there.
Yeah.
Like, look at Pasternak.
Like, what the fuck, man? Look at
Vander...
Pasternak, 64 points.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible?
Oh my
Evander Kane and Pasternak have almost as much as my whole team. This week.
That's crazy.
Pasternak's ranked 1 overall right now. He's first overall. Evander Kane, 8th.
Contract year.
Barkov.
Oh yeah. He's
load of
gone.
points.
By the way,
Pasta
he
is
is gone.
bag, man. Like Pasta is going to secure a bag.
You want to know where Pasta's going to go? Pasta's going to either New York or New Jersey.
Why do you say that? What brings that prediction?
I think both of those teams could use a high-end winger, and they're kind of both already like middle ground, like kind of like not.
I will say
no,
the New York Rangers are one of the better teams in the league, dude.
Oh yeah, like I'm thinking the Devils mostly. Like the Devils desperately, if they get a fucking elite winger, look out.
Yeah, because they got Heischer, they got Hughes, they got Dougie Hamilton on the back end. They need goaltending too. That's a big thing for them.
Get the king.
But if you can get a guy like Pasta in free agency,
that would help.
Okay, I got a question for you since nobody's brought it up. Leafs play tonight against Anaheim. What do you think is going to happen? I'm not sure if Montreal plays.
We do not play tonight.
Back to back.
So
right?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Trevor. I have absolutely no faith.
Yeah, me either.
Want to know what I think is going to happen? It's almost guaranteed. This is exactly what's going to happen. He's going to parade Justin Holl out there for another 22 minutes tonight. He's going to be a -3, and we're going to lose 3-2.
That's definitely possible. I'm still hopeful that maybe this is the one game where Matthew's going to come out and get 4 points. The top line is going to perform like 2 goals, 2 assists. Maybe some points from the bottom line. Win a nice, comfortable like 6-1, 6-2. Shalgren, I'm assuming, is going to be in net.
Dude,
but I mean, That's what I hope, but I just don't feel like that's going to happen because we haven't been able to score against Arizona. So how are we going to score against Anaheim?
I've been hoping
they
for
have
that
the
for 10
capability.
games.
They have the capability. So one of these games, they're going to do it. It's just, is this going to be
Here, I have a prediction for tonight's game. Zegras tries but fails to score a lacrosse goal against you guys because you guys are that bad.
How would he try and fail? Would it be an automatic goal at that point?
Well, no, he's going to try it. It's just not going to work out, but he's going to be able to try it because your defense is that terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's
fair.
definitely going to dunk on Justin Holl tonight a few
Zegras
times.
is going to break Justin Holl's ankles and get a highlight reel goal. That's going to be played all over, and everyone's just going to be like, especially because it's Toronto.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. I have to see if there's any former Leafs, because if there is, I'm gonna place bets on them scoring.
Oh, 100%
Oh.
they're scoring. There's a former Leaf on that team.
Man, I cooked up last night when I
1000%.
was lost in the sauce in my garage. I cooked up a 4-way parlay for football today, and then took a massive L as soon as I woke up.
Like you woke up
The way
just in
she
time
goes.
to see it fail.
Yeah, I was pretty.
And
bad.
while he's doing that, Trav, the Canadians play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday this week. So
Okay, so they'll win 2 of the 3.
yeah, I think we'll lose to the Wild, and then we'll slap the Jets, and we'll slap Vegas.
Could happen. Yep.
Minnesota's nasty, so I don't hate losing to good teams. It's
They've
it
been
happens.
on a terrible run at the beginning, though. Have they turned it around at all?
I thought they turned it around.
Who are we talking about? Sorry.
Minnesota.
They might have turned it around a little bit. Yeah. So, no former Leafs on the Ducks.
Okay, so see, we have a chance.
We might have a chance tonight.
Man, I can't
Nice to
believe
see.
Boston. The start they're off to.
Just electric. Just Brad Marchand.
Makes me
too,
sick
coming
to my
back.
stomach. So here's the thing: if we win tonight, we're in third.
Yeah, we're 9 games in.
We're in
how this
playoff
works.
position if we win tonight, which is
Yeah,
insane.
second night of back-to-backs, though. Like, you really have faith in this team? I don't.
No, I have absolutely no faith whatsoever. It's all gone. Zero.
Pathetic.
Trev hasn't had faith in the Leafs in decades.
It's literally. Yeah, Minnesota has been. They're 3-4-1, so they're not even off too good. They're still doing pretty bad. Worse than the Leafs.
I thought they were nasty, but that might just be me being an idiot.
I think
Well,
they
I
started
I was thinking
0-3.
They have dollar Bill Carell.
I'm just still on the Kirill Kaprizov
So
hype.
Vegas is first in their division. Really?
Yeah.
And somehow the Ducks are actually worse than the Sharks and the Canucks. Pardon?
What?
The Ducks are 1-6. They're in last in the entire league.
They have a minus 20 goal differential through 8 games.
If we don't win tonight, I'm setting my house on fire. Man, I am. You better destroy this
I'm
team.
waiting for Tay to come running into the back of your set and be like, no, you're not.
I will tombstone pile driver Tay into concrete if we don't win this. If we don't get the first goal, even, like, and I know what's gonna happen. We're losing.
I swear to
6-0.
God, if Maxime Comtois comes down the ice and scores 2 minutes in,
who's in net? Gibby? Is he still on that team? Is Gibson in
Yes.
net?
Yeah,
He's
Gibson's still
scoring.
there.
He's scoring a goal tonight. That's basically where I'm at with this team. Gibson's gonna rifle one down. It's gonna hit the stanchion. Go into net.
that's
Well, for
hilarious.
Tay's sake, I hope that doesn't happen.
But you're right. I'm looking at some of the stats across the league here. Like Colorado's 4-4-1, dude.
Like I feel like there's not actually a whole lot of teams with crazy good records.
Not
I mean,
yet.
the Stars are in first in their division.
Literally,
They're
other than
5
Boston and
3.
Vegas.
Like it's literally Boston, Vegas. Everybody else has been mediocre. Like nobody's winning a lot of games. So
No, but the thing you have to remember, because you guys are Leafs fans, so everything goes to shit immediately. Is It's like 9 games into the season, guys.
part of me just hopes that this what do you want to call it? Adversity will be good for them because they've been walking through the seasons way too easily where they're like, oh, we're still 2 months of hockey to play and we're guaranteed a playoff spot because the rest of our division is trash. So maybe it'll be good for them to actually have to fight to get into a playoff spot and keep a playoff spot so then they're actually ready for that adversity come playoff time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just hoping, I guess.
Is that your dog?
Yeah, that's my dog. Sorry.
Oh, okay, I thought it was my washing machine for a second. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, Nash is barking upstairs.
Nasherton. Anyway, we've kind of got to carry on a run along episode going here, but it's okay. I love talking to you guys.
Episode 69, man, the most important.
Episode 69.
There it is.
What was that?
Tay yelling at the dogs.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
wasn't at me, so we're good.
All right, guys.
And you're fine.
Thank you to the Game Entertainment and Media, as always, for hosting us. We will be back with episode 70 next week, which is less monumental than episode 69, of course.
Well, it's less monumental because we're not going to have Trev with us.
We are
Sorry.
not going to have Trev with
Appreciate
us.
the
I hope
invite,
you guys
guys.
know that it took some real planning to get this episode taken care of and put together.
Like, this is like months in the making.
Yes. That's why we postponed the Thanksgiving episode, is so that we can have Trevor
Just get lined
in
up.
town for 69.
Yeah.
Not kidding. But,
Like, dead
Excellent.
ass.
I love it.
yes. Anyway, thank you for everybody that listened, and let us know if you have any opinions. You agree with us, you disagree with us, let us know. You can let us know on social media, to Instagram. Twitter's probably a good place to get at us if you want to tell us that we're wrong. Yeah, you can also go watch the podcast if you're listening to it right now on YouTube. You want to see my ugly face, feel free. Yeah. Thanks again for listening, everybody. We will see you next weekend with episode 70.